Lesson 4, The Bells by Edgar Allan Poe, 1809 to 1849. So here we can see his lifetime, 40 years. About the poet. Edgar Allan Poe was born in Boston, Massachusetts, USA, to actor parents. He is one of the major writers of America. His tale, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, was the first detective story, and his tales of horror is unrivaled in the history of American literature. Unrivaled means better than everyone or everything of the same type, that is incomparable. The Raven is one such poem that evokes horror. He published a youthful book of poems, Tamerlane, and other poems. These poems were influenced by Lord Byron. However, poverty made him join the army in the name of Edgar A. Perry. When his foster mother died, foster mother means woman that feeds or bring up another's child. So why he was having foster mother? Because his parents were actors and they were not having time for him. So some other woman was taking care of him and who brought him up. So when his foster mother died, John Allan helped him get an appointment to the US Military Academy at West Point. It was in New York City that he published a book of poems, but soon he returned to Baltimore where he began to write two short stories, MS Found in a Bottle, written in 1833, won $50, and by 1835 he was in Richmond as editor of Southern Weekly Messenger. There he made a name for himself as a critical reviewer. Here he married his young cousin Virginia Clem, who was only 13. He seems to have been an affectionate husband and son-in-law. He had some premonition of his death in Baltimore and died there in September. However, the cause of his death is yet uncertain. Premonition means a strong feeling that something is about to happen, especially something unpleasant. About the poem. The Bells is composed of 4 stanzas of increasing length. We can see this poem. First stanza. It is having total 14 lines. Next, second stanza. It is having 21 lines. Third stanza. It is having 34 lines. And fourth stanza, which is having 44 lines. It makes use of creative aspects of language like onomatopoeia, alliteration, repetition, and assonance. So these are the 4 creative aspects given. Number 1, onomatopoeia. Let us see what is this. Onomatopoeia is a word that imitates the natural sounds of a thing. It creates a sound effect that mimics the thing described, making the description more expressive and interesting. Example, different sounds of water like splash, gush, sprinkle, drizzle, and drip. So let us see some onomatopoeia in this poem. Onomatopoeia are the words which is telling us about the sound. So such words are like tinkle, tintinnabulation, jingling, tinkling, ring, ringing, chiming, shriek, clang, clash, roar, twanging, clanging, jangling, wrangling, clamor, clangor, groan, tolling, yells, throbbing, sobbing, tolling, moaning, groaning. Next creative aspect is alliteration. Alliteration, what is it? It is the repetition of consonant sounds in successive or closely associated symbols within a group of words. So here we are talking about the repetition of consonant sound, not the consonant. Let us take example of the phrase kids coats. See here these two words, they are starting with the different consonants. Here it is K and here it is C. Both are different consonants, but see the sounds. This is kids. It is giving the sound of K. Coats. This is also giving the sound of K. So even though they are starting with different consonants, but the consonant sounds are same of K. So this phrase is alliteration. Another phrase, it is phony people. Both these words are starting with the letter P, but here this P is giving sound of F and this P is giving sound of P. So this is not alliteration. Let us see some of the alliteration in this poem. We can see here Runic Rhyme. Sounding cells. They are starting with S and C, which are different consonants, but sound both of them are giving are the same, like sound, sir, cells, sir. So sounding cells. Frantic fire. Desperate desire. Tale of terror. Turbulency tells, this T and T, here T and T, tale of terror. Clang and clash, K and K. Muffled monotone, M and M. Human heart, H and H. Runic rhyme, R and R. So these were some examples of alliteration. Next is repetition. Repetition is the words which are coming again and again. So here we have like tinkle, 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 time, 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 bells, 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 bells. Similarly, here also we have repetition of bells, then higher, higher, higher. Again we have bells. Next, tolling, tolling, tolling. Rolls, rolls, rolls. Time, time, time. Knells, knells, knells. Bells, bells, bells. Again we have bells, bells, bells. So we have completed onomatopoeia, alliteration, repetition, and the fourth one is assonance. Assonance is a figure of speech in which the same vowel sound repeats within a group of words. So it is same as that of alliteration. Only difference is in alliteration, repetition of consonant sounds are coming, and in assonance repetition of vowel sounds are coming. Like we have here sledges, bells. Here the repetition of these two E. Again merriment, melody. Jingling, tinkling. Molten, golden notes. Mellow, wedding, bell. Gush, euphony, voluminously. Turbulency tells here E, this E. Desperate desire, E, E. Resolute endeavor, E, E. Pale faced, A, A. What a tale, A, A, A. Their terror tells. E, E, E. Clang, clash. A, A. So like this we can find many. The first stanza depicts childhood and innocence, and so it is the shortest stanza in the poem. It consists of 14 lines. The second stanza is slightly longer and it depicts youth, happiness, and the joyous sound of wedding bells. So this consists of 21 lines. The third stanza, longer than the second, is cacophonic. Cacophonic means having an unpleasant mixture of depicting the troubles of the adulthood. This consists of 34 lines. And the final stanza brings the sound of funeral bells and showcases the sullen means bad-tempered or depressed mood, dark emotions of death. So this final fourth stanza, it consists of 44 lines. Here the sledges with the bells, silver bells, what a world of merriment their melody foretells. How they tinkle, tinkle, tinkle in the icy air of night, while the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystalline delight, keeping time in a sort of runic rhyme to the tintinnabulation that so musically wells from the bells, 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 from the jingling and the tinkling of the bells. This is the first stanza of the poem in which it is given about the sledges. Sledges are the vehicles which are used in icy or snowy area, which are used for carrying loads and passengers and are pulled by the animals. So it's given that listen to the sound of sledges which is coming with the bells which are there with the sledges. So when sledges are moving, bells are ringing and giving sound. These are the silver bells. What are the qualities of these silver bells? The sound which these silver bells are producing are melodious, and these sound are giving so sweet music and they are so tuneful that it forecasts or it predicts about the world of happiness and joy. Means after listening to the sound of this bell, people find themselves in the world of happiness and pleasure. How they tinkle. Tinkle is a type of sound which is actually light, clear, ringing sound. So when this bell rings, they give light, clear, ringing sound, and that too in the icy air of night. Icy air, it tells about the cold climate, and night it tells about the darkness. So this cold and darkness, it signifies the death. It tells how life goes with death. So this music and this happiness, all these tells about the life, and this cold climate and darkness, it tells about the death. So life and death goes all together. While the stars that oversprinkle. Sprinkle means to scatter in drops and particles, means when the stars scatters everywhere during the night time, when it is dark, all the heavens seem to twinkle. Twinkle means shine repeatedly, strongly, then weakly. So when these stars twinkle, they produce so much brightness that it gives the feeling of all heaven. And all these together, the sound of bell, the sweet music, and the shining of stars, all these all together give crystalline delight. Crystalline means like crystal, clear, transparent. So after listening to all this music or the sound of the bell and seeing the view, anyone's heart get filled with the crystal clear, transparent delight means happiness and pleasure. And with the time, as the time goes, in a sort of Runic rhyme, means the manner these bell rings. Runic means runes are the letters in a set of related alphabets known as runic alphabets, and this was in use before Latin alphabets were used. Another meaning of runic is some hidden meaning. When the bell is ringing, it is producing a type of rhyme, a type of rhythmic sound with some deep meaning, with some secret meaning. With the passing of the time, the bell rings in a manner that it produces such a rhyming sound or such a rhythm that it gives clear ringing sound which is coming like a music coming from some other source. To the tintinnabulation. Tintinnabulation means the tinkling sound or the sound which is light, clear, ringing sound. This sound is coming from some musical source, that is musically well. So these are coming from the ringing of the bells, from the jingling. Jingling means the metallic ringing sound, and tinkling. Tinkling means make or cause to make a light clear ringing sound. So these bells are ringing, ringing and ringing, and they are giving jingling sound and tinkling sound. As we all know that all the four stanzas of this poem are showing different stages of life. So this first stanza of poem is showing the first stage of life, that is the childhood stage. This is the stage of the life where we can find the innocence. So there is a easy trust, and the child easily trust the people, get excited and get delighted soon. Everything pleases them. They find happiness in each and every moment and in each and everything. Here the mellow wedding bells. Mellow means smooth or soft, mature. Golden bells. What a world of happiness, their harmony. Harmony means mutual agreement of people's feeling or opinion. Foretells. Foretells means predict the future or future events. Through the balmy. Balmy means calm. Air of night. How they ring out their delight from the molten golden notes. Notes means symbolic representation of musical sound. And all in tune. Tune means a melody. What a liquidity floats. Liquidity means a short, simple song. To the turtle dove. Turtle dove is a small old world dove with a soft purring call, that is low continuous vibrating sound noted for the apparent affection shown for its mate, that listens while she gloats Gloats means to feel or express great pleasure or satisfaction because of your own success or good luck or someone else's failure. On the moon. So here it tells that listen to the mature wedding bell, which is actually the golden bell. We can clearly see that where the silver bell was showing the innocence, this golden bell is showing the maturity. And what is the uniqueness of this golden bell? This golden bell predicts the happy world of the newly wed couple, which is the outcome of harmony, that is their mutual agreement regarding the feeling and opinion of each other. And this marriage happened in balmy air of night. Balmy is calm. So during the calm night, this marriage happened. So balmy calmness and night darkness. This both signifies again death. How they ring out their delight means these bells are showing their delight or happiness not through actual ringing but through the notes. Notes are the symbolic representation of musical sound. And how are these notes? These notes are formed with the molten gold, which is giving the tune, that this is giving a melody, forming the liquidity. Liquidity is the short simple song, and this song is floating and it is reaching the turtle dove. Turtle dove, turtle dove signifies the love and faithfulness. So they also listen to the melody of the bell and they feel glad, that is the pleasure, satisfaction or proud on the moon listening to the bell. It is saying that when female turtle dove look at the moon, get filled with love and satisfaction, same way they feel the same love and satisfaction after listening to the tune of the golden bell. Oh, from out the sounding cells. Sounding cells means the sound which is coming out of the cells, or we can say the sound which is coming out of the bells, which or we can consider it as the inner sound. So the sound which is coming from the echoing of the bell. And how is this sound? This sound is flowing out, which is actually harmonious and pleasing sound in a great volume, in bulk, which is actually coming out from the bigger source, the source, main source, which is actually the golden bell. And this sound is leading to the swelling. Swelling means enlargement. This is expanding. So this is expanding, but at the same time it dwells. Dwells means it is at the specific place only. It is spreading, but it is at the specific place only. And it is also telling about the future. This golden bell is giving us the message of extreme happiness, which is coming out of the driving force in the coming future. And this is resulting by the swinging. Swinging is the moving back and forth, swinging and ringing. Ringing means having or emitting a clear resonating sound which is coming from the bells. So the sound is coming from the swinging, that is the movement of the bell, which is producing the ringing sound of the bell. And the sound is the rhyming sound, and it is produced with the bell. Here, the loud alarm bells, brazen bells, means listen to the loud alarm brazen bells. Brazen means which is made of brass, and they are producing bold, hard and piercing sound which is pinching our ear. And what is so unique thing about this brazen bell? This bell tells us about the tale of terror. It means the story of fear, which is the result of noise and commotion, which is so disturbing and produced by these bells in the startled ear of night, that is in the frightening and surprising time of night. Again, it indicates the death. These bells scream out their affright, means frighten. These bells scream in such a manner that it is frightening us, and it is too much horrified, means it is too much shocking and frightening to say that they only shriek. Shriek means to utter a high pitched piercing sound or word, especially as an expression of terror, pain or excitement. So these are coming like terror, and these are also out of tune. Out of tune means out of rhythm, means now the melody and harmony both are gone. In a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire. Clamorous means noisy and appeal means pleading. So the bell is appealing with the noise to the fire to have mercy. In a mad expostulation, means in a mad complaint to the fire which is actually not ready to listen anything, and it is acting like crazy, or it is going crazy and out of control. This fire is going higher, higher, higher with a urgent need, with a desire, with a great desire and a resolute endeavor, means with a purpose, which is with a specific purpose. And what is the purpose? That now only to sit, otherwise never it will happen. Where to sit? Sit next to the moon. Means the fire will go so higher to reach the moon and sit next to it. Otherwise, once it will get extinct, that it can never reach the moon and can never sit next to it. So we can see that the property, this fire which is very hot, and this moon which is pale faced moon, that is cool. Oh, the bells, 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 what a tale their terror tells. Now the terror story is told in this of despair. Despair is the complete loss or absence of hope. So now there is no hope. How they clang. Clang means a loud, resonating, metallic sound or series of sound. And clash. Clash is a violent confrontation, and roar is a full, deep, prolonged sound. So these three types of sound are produced by the bell. What all sounds are they? Clang, clash and roar, and these sounds are outpouring the horror on the bosom of the palpitating air. Here the personification is done for the air, that air is having the bosom. Bosom means the woman's chest or breast, which is palpitating, that is the strong and irregular beating of the heart. It means the air is having the chest in which the heart is beating, which is beating in a very irregular way and very fast. Yet the ear it fully knows. Ear means which is used to listen. So the ear which is listening, what it is listening? It is listening the different sounds. Which sounds are they? They are twanging, clanging, jangling and wrangling sound. So let us see twanging. Twanging means making a loud ringing sound, and clanging. Clanging means a loud resonating metallic sound or series of sound. So this twanging is making loud ringing sound and this is metallic sound. Twanging and clanging. How the danger ebbs and flow. Now the fire which is moving up and down, which is coming like ebbs, means tide water which is flowing up and down, yet the ear distinctly tells. Again the ear is listening to some different sound. Which are these different sounds? Jangling and wrangling sound. Jangling means make or cause to make ringing metallic sound, typically a discordant one, and wrangling is engagement in long complicated dispute or argument. So these two are also coming like the disturbing sound. How the danger sinks and swells means this bell is producing sound which is going very louder, or sometimes it is getting lower, but it never finish. It keeps on going lower and higher. When bells have feeling that they are full of anger, then it swells. Otherwise, it will sink, it will come down, same like that of tide in the ocean. And all these happening with the bell. In the clamor, clamor is a loud and confused noise, especially that of people shouting, and the clangor. Clangor is a continuous loud banging and ringing sound. So all these are happening in clamor and clangor of the bells. So we can find in this third stanza that it is completely frightening. The sound of bell which was going very nice in first and second stanza is all of sudden coming horrifying and frightening in this third stanza, and this is shown with the different words like we have here shriek, roar, twanging, clanging, janging, ranging, clamor and clangor. Here the tolling of the bells, iron bells, what a world of solemn thought their monody compels. In the silence of the night, how we shiver with the fright at the melancholy menace of their tone. For every sound that floats from the rust within their throats is a groan, and the people are the people. They dwell up in the steeple all alone. Here it is given, listen to the tolling of the bells. Tolling is to sound slowly at regular interval iron bell. Now this bell is made with the iron. Before that we have seen the bell matter made with the precious metals like silver, gold. Then it came down to brass and lastly to iron. And now we can imagine the sound which may come with the iron, that will be the hard and unpleasant sound. We have seen in the third stanza that finally the fear of the fire alarm bell got ended, and now it turned to the solemn thought. Solemn is a very serious or formal in manner, behavior or expression which is the result of monody. Monody is a poem or song lamenting a person's death. So here it is told about the death. The sound of iron bell is giving us the feeling of death. So, in the night time, when there is silence, the people start shivering and got frightened listening to the bell sound. At the melancholy menace, melancholy means a feeling of sadness without cause. Menace is a threat or danger of their tone. So, by listening to the tone of the sound, the people feel sad and feel threatened. For every sound that floats from the rust within their throats is a groan. So here we can see the personification of the bell. The bell actually don't have throat, but here it is assumed that the sound is coming out of the throat of the bell, which is actually rusted. So because it is rusted, so the sound is coming is not very clear, and it is coming like groan, that is making a deep inarticulate sound conveying pain and despair. And the people are the people, and there are some people who are dwells up, who are living in the steeple means a pointed structure on the top of a church tower, who are living on the tip of the church tower, and that also alone, and who tolling means to sound slowly at regular interval. So they are tolling in that muffled monotone. What they are doing, they are making muffled is unclear or quite sound. Monotone means in a single tone, and the sound is with a single tone, full of emptiness, lifelessness, and passionless. The people who are living in the steeple are actually not good, because they actually enjoy making people miserable with the sound of their bells. Here the sound of bell is described as rolling a stone. So who are these people? These people are neither men nor women, neither brute. Brute means a savagely violent person or animal, nor human. Then who are they? They are ghouls. Ghouls means an evil spirit or monster who feast on body of dead. And their king it is who tolls. And the king of these monsters, what they do, they tolls means to sound slowly at regular interval, and he rolls, and he is rolling. Rolls means move in a particular direction by turning over and over on an axis. A paean from the bells. Paean means song of praise or triumph. The king of ghouls feel happy on listening to the paean. Paean means the song of praise or triumph, and his bosom, that is the chest, swells on listening to it with the paean of the bell. By listening to that, he dances and he yells means shout, keeping time in a sort of runic rhyme with the passage of the time. Here we have runic repetition of runic rhyme. This we saw in first stanza, where it was used for showing happiness and joy. Now again it is repeated, but now this is used for sorrow for the people, but at the same time it is used as joy for the king of ghouls. To the paean of the bells of the bell, So he is dancing and enjoying by listening to the paean of the bells keeping time in a sort of runic rhyme to the throbbing of the bells. Throbbing means beating with a strong regular rhythm, pulsating of the bells, to the sobbing of the bells. Sobbing means noisy crying. By listening to the noisy cry of bell also, he is enjoying keeping time, as he knells. Knells means to ring. To ring what? To ring solemnly, especially for a death of funeral. He is enjoying by ringing for the death of funeral. In a happy runic rhyme, to the rolling of the bell. Rolling means moving or turning over and over on an axis of the bells, to the tolling of the bells. Tolling means slow repeated single tone bell sound of the bells, to the mourning. Mourning is make a long, low sound expressing suffering, and the groaning. Groaning is denoting a deep, inarticulating sound conveying pain, despair of the bells. So we saw in this poem all the four stanzas showed us the different moods. The first para showed us about the mood of happiness and joy with the childhood days filled with the innocence. Second para told us about the youth and the mood of happiness and the ritual of marriage filled with happiness and harmony. And third stanza, which consisted of brazen bell, it showed us fear, fright, disturbance. And lastly, the fourth stanza is filled with the monotone, that is a single tone, which is lacking life, which is passionless.